hi, I'm that plays games, and for years, since I was a little kid, I always thought it would be cool to one day make a video game, but I figured out I'm not really equipped for it. I don't have the right skill set, so it's not gonna happen, probably. But then a few weeks ago, I figured, you know what, with the advancements of AI and things like ChatGPT helping you to code, and with things like art assets on the Unity web marketplace and things like that, maybe I could make a game. And I quickly discovered it's a lot more work than I thought, I knew it was a lot of work, it's just I overly complicate things for myself. So I started designing something, and then realized that's not really doable. So I quickly decided to, not right now, maybe after the summer or something. I didn't understand that you kind of have to start with something more simple. But also got thinking, what would I like to play that doesn't exist yet? What would I what would I make if I made video games? And I think I have a little list for you. So here are the games that I would make if I actually knew how to make video games, which I don't. My first game would be quite basic. It's actually something I think I might be able to pull off myself, because give it enough time and actually, spending time on it. And that would be to make a RPG maker style game where you basically play as a bunch of goblins. And I would like to make them fully voice acted as well. So think, hey, come here. Think voices like that. And that have to be like a quite funny story of like a misunderstood bunch of goblins. They just want to do their own thing, but everyone keeps on thinking they need to protect themselves and their village from adventurers who think they are some sort of menace, and really they just want to hang out and drink beer and have fun. They're being quite chill. So they set out on a quest to, save their village, basically, from the humans. The elves and the dwarves who come through rampaging and destroying everything. A bit of a perspective change. Would be cool and fun. Silly. My second idea is a bit more complex than that. It would be a card game. So you have 8 different characters, modeled after my Guild Wars characters, to be fair. And they are different classes. These classes can all wear the same items. You have 5 item slots, one for your head, one for your feet, one for your body, one for your hands, and then you have accessories. And each item would give the character 2 cards. So you basically equip them with whatever 5 items you want. Each category has like 3 or 5 different to choose from initially, and then you would have 2 cards per item, meaning that each character will have 10 cards available to them. And they do a card battler with that, so you select which characters you want to bring into the battle out of the 8 that you unlock. And you can have like Pokemon style overworld as well to go with it, to tell a fun story. I think kind of cool. This idea is basically Total War, with imperfect information. So in Total War you have these massive armies going about it on the battlefield. But you can see everything because you're like an all-seeing god. Commanders back then wasn't. They didn't know what was happening across that hill, but you do. But what if you didn't? What if you could only see what you actually knew with your own eyes and with what people told you? So you would have a table with a map, you had small units moving around on it, could go out from that tent and look over the battlefield and give your orders. I think it would be kind of cool. So the final idea is honestly probably way too ambitious to be possible by anyone, but who knows, maybe technology is advanced enough. It's basically a massive open world, fantasy, because I do love myself some low fantasy, and you basically create your character through some sort of questionnaire, like build your backstory thing, and then you're randomly dropped into the world, and you start playing, and you will basically be replacing an NPC. So even if there's no one playing it, there will still be a massive world filled with characters. It's just, if there's a lot of players, they will basically replace those NPCs. And it will be something matching your character. So you can create basically whatever backstory you want. You can be a farmer, a soldier, a trader, or maybe a lord. And then you do what you would do. If you play as a farming character, you would basically play Farming Simulator. And if you play as a soldier, then, well, I suppose it's like Battlefront, but medieval. And then if you play someone like a lord, it's probably more like a strategy game. And decisions that you make will affect the whole world, so that if a player as the king declares war on their neighboring nation, they will then have to raise an army. So all the players who play soldiers, then you're suddenly they got a lot of new quests going on, And if they don't follow those quests, they might get branded as deserters, which creates a whole lot of fun gameplay for them. And then the farmer, suddenly he has to pay more tax. And that will be probably hard. And if they don't pay the tax, let's say they manage to decide not to, post a little rebellion of their own in their little village, and let's say some other players in the nearby villages are like, oh, that's a good idea, we should do that too, and then suddenly you have a massive rebellion on your hand. And even if there's no other players to take that up, it might be some NPCs doing it. So yeah, it's basically a simulate a fantasy world where you can play as anyone and do whatever you want. Hard? Yes. Probably impossible. But I mean, Star Citizen is ambitious, and that's sort of happening, I guess. So anyway, yeah, those are just some of the many game ideas that I've had in my head for some of them just a few weeks and some of them more than a decade. And yeah, I guess I just want someone to make those games so I can play them, and if no one does, then maybe one day it'll be me. I hope you enjoyed this little trip down my weird mind. Yeah, we'll see if we do more of these. I mean, I suppose we could talk about news, like the CMA stuff and everything, but I do that on Rock Players, and honestly, I'm getting kind of tired of that thing. Not Rock Players, like the CMA deal thing. It's like, just get it over with already. But yeah, Microsoft buying stuff, things are happening in the gaming world, but I don't know, I just wanted to take some time and talk about the games I would make if I knew how to make video games. So tell me in the comments below, what games would you like to create that doesn't exist yet, and yeah, would you play any of mine if they existed? Don't forget to like and subscribe, because that always helps. I'm trying to getting quite close to 500 subs now, so it would be kind of cool to reach that. So yeah, guess I'll see you in the next one. Bye.